What's up guys, this is my smoked oxtail mac and cheese full recipe and video tutorial. I got a lot of requests to make this and I finally put pen to paper. Let's begin. So you're gonna have two options to smoke the oxtail. This is my traditionally smoked oxtail. It has its own rub. You're gonna season it thoroughly. Now do not break out your offset smoker box, do anything fancy. Look, we're gonna almost roast and smoke this at the same time. I went ahead and probed one of my thicker oxtails in the centermost part of the grill. We're gonna let that hit 190 degrees Fahrenheit. This took about 1 hour. I used 6 hickory chunks, vents all the way open, man. We want a lot of Maillard reaction. Now let's do the oven smoked.
All right, so if you can't be bothered to smoke your oxtail, we're gonna do a faux smoked oxtail. So we're gonna incorporate hickory smoke powder and liquid smoke to try to approximate the flavor you would get from actual smoke. So we're gonna go into the spice grinder with black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, our hickory smoke powder, kosher salt, and that good old MSG. Go ahead and blitz this. So we got a nice fine powder oxtail into the bowl. So we're gonna give a generous coat to the oxtail with liquid smoke. Remember, we're gonna impart smoke flavor in 2 different ways. It's gonna be kind of like our binder for the rub. So now we're gonna go down with a generous coat of our smoky rub. Remember to season up from on high. Go ahead and flip things. Remember, there's not a lot of salt in this, so we can be really generous. So our oxtail is generously seasoned. We're gonna go ahead and go into the oven.
All right guys, so let's take it back to the traditionally smoked oxtail, and you can see that candy red is looking beautiful. Again, this was a roast smoke. We wanted to get that nice, beautiful brown color on the outside. Cover these with water, go high pressure, 2 hours. Now back to the oven smoked version. These are just coming out of the 425 degree oven and they look great. Got a nice golden and crispy color. We're gonna go into the pressure cooker now.
So now to finish the faux smoked oxtail, we're gonna go in with our oxtail. We're gonna go in with some liquid smoke and water to cover. All right.
So whichever method you use, you finish in the pressure cooker or you do stovetop if you want to take a little bit more time to do it. Now these came out super crazy tender, just falling right off the bone, and that's exactly what you want. So the oxtail you're seeing right now are the traditionally smoked oxtail. So you're gonna give a super rough chop to the oxtail, additional rub, mix it up, and now the oxtail's ready. We're gonna build the mac and cheese sauce.
All right, so we're gonna go into the pan with the butter. Pan has been preheated here. Once the butter is foamy, we're gonna go in with our stock. I've got bone broth here, and I've got my evaporated milk. All right, we're gonna go in with our sodium citrate. We want that fully dissolved in the liquid. It's gonna help emulsify the cheese. Give that a big stir. All right, once the liquid is warm, but before it boils, we're gonna go in with our cheddar cheese. Remember, stir vigorously. You don't want anything to stick to the bottom of that pan. Same time, you're gonna go in with your immersion circulator and fully blend this in. Make sure you never stop stirring during this part. We don't want it to stick to the bottom. Really get in there real good. All right. You're gonna see a little foam, that's normal. We're gonna hit it with that rosemary. It's really gonna pair well with the beef. Give it a good stir, making sure to hit that bottom, keeping that bottom moving. At this point, you wanna check for salt. Going with just a little bit of your salt. We are boiling. We're gonna go in with the pasta. All right. As the noodles boil, you wanna be sure to go ahead and give it a vigorous stir, making sure to kind of scrape that bottom. Watch your heat. If it starts to boil over, go ahead and turn it down, but you just want to monitor it and stir periodically. So we're now in the final 2 minutes. Now I'm gonna go in with my hot sauce, Dijon mustard, the rest of my salt, and then my pepper. And get that stirred in. You can already see how creamy it is. Oh man, should have about a minute or 2 left till we get to where we want to be on the noodle. Let's give it a test. We're at a good al dente. Go ahead and kill the heat. Now we're gonna incorporate our creamy Havarti cubes. We don't want them to fully melt in, but we do wanna have them fully incorporated. We want those to kind of melt as we finish it in the oven. All right, so those are fully incorporated, and you can just see how creamy and beautiful that is. Now we're gonna build the layers and finish it in the oven. So we're gonna go in with a layer of our super creamy mac and cheese. Copious amounts of that smoked oxtail. Some of that smoked Gouda.
So we're going down with 3 layers total. I want you to use a 7x11 deep dish baking dish. Now, you're gonna use all of the Gouda, you're gonna use all of the mac and cheese, but do not use all the oxtail. You don't wanna overpower it with the oxtail. You want enough oxtail between each bite, but you don't wanna go crazy. So we're gonna go into the broiler, 500 for about 10 minutes, and it comes out nice and bubbly like this. Now it's ready to serve, and I'm telling you, this is probably the best mac and cheese you've ever had in your life. And a great use for the remaining oxtail is to go ahead and top it off on the plate. Now it's time for the best bite you've ever had. You worked really hard to get here, and so just really, truly enjoy this moment, man. This was so good.
You get just a hint of the smoke on the oxtail. The cheese sauce doesn't have any smoke flavor that's leached from the oxtails into the cheese sauce. That is because we've added the oxtails on top of the mac and cheese. Anytime you're making a mac and cheese that has meat components or aromatic components, you wanna make sure that each element of the mac and cheese can stand on its own. And so we've allowed all the elements to play together and play nicely as opposed to stepping on each other's toes. The noodle is perfectly al dente. I mean, you literally couldn't ask for a better bite. Hit the subscribe button below. We got many more adventures to come.